Well, StreamYard says I am live. So happy freaking New Year, nonprofit family, accidental techies who came back for 2023 to do it all over again. Hopefully, a little smarter, a little easier, a little better than what we managed to get done in 2022. If you don't know me, my name is Maureen. I'm a nonprofit digital strategist and technology coach. And just about most Friday afternoons at 12:30 Eastern Time, I do a live session, sometimes with people, sometimes solo, and talk about some nonprofit technology stuff. Could be things like how to do market research if you're looking for new technology, how to help your team adopt new business processes and technology, all kinds of things that none of us got formal training for. So it's a pleasure to be with everybody this afternoon. Whether you're looking at this live or recorded, I welcome you. Before we get into today's topic, 2023 Dump It, Do It list, I just want to shout out the fact that I'm going to be doing a really fun, short little webinar, 30 minutes only, next Tuesday. That would be the 17th at 2 Eastern Time. I'm buddying up with my friends at Fundraise Up and to Tango, the texting tool, to present about 10 or 12 fundraising trends, technology trends to consider for 2023. So I'm going to pop the link right into the chat. If you sign up for it and can't make it, you'll get that recording link. Hope to see you all there. We have, I think yesterday, over 400 people registered. So clearly it's a hot topic. Really looking forward to presenting my 2 cents to all of you next week. Speaking of my 2 cents, right? New year, we got a list of things that we dragged with us into 2023, maybe from 2020, maybe from last year. We've all got it. I'm going to start with my personal thing that I'm going to do before my next live stream, which is switch webcams. I bought this webcam probably in March of last year. You can see still nice and shiny in the box. My webcam is great. It's been rocking for 5 years, but it's starting to glitch out a little bit, which is why I bought a new one. Haven't taken it out of the box. So my promise to you, by the time I go live next time, will be switching webcams, and I'll let you know how that goes. Should be pretty easy. But let's dig right into the meat of it. There's so many things that we could turn our attention to improve, to add, to replace, to make better, to fix. And it can be really overwhelming to have this giant laundry list of stuff that seems like a good idea to spend some brain power and some time on. Just like with nonprofit technology, you can do anything, but you can't do everything. So today I'm going to give you my 3 dump its and my 3 do its for consideration as you think about your priorities for the year that we've just started. So let's start with the dump it list, things that you should just stop doing or putting up with. I got 3 of them. First one, routine tasks that are primarily people-powered. Primarily people-powered. I'm not talking about relationship building or major donor stewardship or all of those things that really do take human connection to build a relationship. I'm talking about things like if you have an actual person double or triple data entering in more than one system, dump it in 2023. Stop. There's no need for that. Explore other ways of getting your data to move around your organization. Most systems today, whether you've had them for a long time or they're relatively new to you and your team, will let you export information into an Excel file or a CSV that you can then maybe modify a little bit, push that data into another place. People-powered processes, bummer. Younger people not putting up with it. Some of us who've been doing this for a really long time are like, yeah, I know, it's dumb. I'm just going to enter these things into 3 places. Those people power tasks, people dependent things, you're going to do yourselves a huge favor by trying to eliminate them in 2023. So that's dump it number 1. Dump it number 2. Deal with your unresponsive email subscribers or hard bounces. They kind of all fall into the same category. You're going to take different action with each of those groups. Get those people who have not clicked a link since 2013, get them out of your house file. Move them into a separate list just in case maybe they come back someday. They are dragging your sender reputation down. They are messing with your message response rates, those that we can actually have access to these days. And they might even be costing you money, more than you need to be paying for your email tool, because those products are priced on audience and list size. I know I've said this before. It makes you cry a little bit inside when you say goodbye to, 20% of your list, but the benefits far outweigh your personal agony at seeing your list size drop. That's a fake metric. It's helpful only if those people are actually interacting with your content. You can try to re-engage them. Send them a nice, jaunty, fun, visually interesting email with maybe an offer to click over to get a free resource or watch a video or something like that. One good old try. If they do not respond, kiss them goodbye and go find some new, fresh audience members who are actually interested in your work and will engage with your content. So get those unresponsive subscribes and hard bounce people out of your file. Third thing I think we should all think about doing and dumping in 2023 is addressing bad business relationships. And those relationships can be with a software vendor, a consultant like me, platforms, products, software, apps, databases. No one has time to deal with bad business relationships in 2023. Nobody's got time to fight to get technical support or to figure out like yet another creative workaround for something that's just busted or you've outgrown inside your organization. A good way to get started to know like where you should focus is make a list of the things you use and the people that you partner with, that you've got business relationships with, and rate them green, yellow, red. Grab a couple of those reds. And if it's a human person that you're interacting with and not just like an anonymous piece of software, book a meeting. Book a meeting with them. Tell them that you did a scan of your technology environment and they're coming up problematically, and have clear feedback. Share your expectations with those companies or people. If things improve, you always want to give it one more chance before you break up for good. But if things improve, awesome. If they're self-sustained, they stay that way for a while, just like let them be. But if people do not come through, platforms continue to glitch, make a breakup plan. It's going to save your sanity if you are not working really hard to preserve bad business relationships or pretending they're not bad. Like neither of those options are really great. So like focus on them, fix them, or remove them and move on. So those are all the things I think we should just kick to the curb in either small or large part in 2023. Let's talk about the things we want to do, the things we want to bring in. First thing is remember your supporters. Remember them. We're supposed to be inspiring them. We're supposed to be making them feel a feeling when they encounter your email, your website, your social media feed. You can do some things because after a while we stop looking like, oh yeah, that donation form is fine. It might be okay, but if you haven't changed it at all, the look, the feel, the payment methods, the number of fields people need to fill out. In like 3 years since pandemic started in 2022, it is time for you to look at these things again and reinvigorate them so that your supporters see something a little new, a little more exciting, and are more likely to take an action with them. So test drive those donation forms, redesign your email templates, right? Just invest a little time and money in those things. If you can't do it in-house, outsource that stuff. Not a lot of money to get a new email template for your newsletter. Things like your top 10 most visited web pages. Find out what those are and give them a little zhuzh. If your header image is the same that it's been since 2006, it is time to swap it up. It's time to give people a different experience of your digital stuff. Got to make them feel a feeling. If you haven't done this for a while, one thing that I find can be really helpful, and it's really easy to do, and it just takes a little time, it's free, is sit down with your communications, your fundraising, volunteers, member, whatever kind of audiences you've got in your organization. Sit with a couple of the team that deals with those people and identify your top 3 audiences. Who do we want to come to our site? What actions do we want them to take when they get there? And how can we give them in 25 seconds or less what they're looking for? And if you want to take it a step further, you can even find a couple of people, supporters in those groups. Grab a volunteer, grab a member, grab a donor, grab an email subscriber, and ask them a couple of questions. Set up a little Zoom. People love to be asked their opinion. So if you can incentivize it, you'll get a sticker, you'll get a t-shirt, you'll get a discount. It sweetens the pot just a little bit, but hearing from your visitors what is important to them, what they wish you showed them more of, will help you, just like an arrow going to the target, focus your energy and attention on leveling up and zhuzhing up and refreshing the right things. How can you give them a better experience? We can't always figure that out without asking them. So inspiring your supporters, do it differently in 23. Second thing I want you to do is invest in some useful reports, please. One of the things that I spend so much time with nonprofit staffers around is data and using it. Not going to talk about cleaning up your data. You've heard that from me. That's just something I think everybody should be doing all the time, or at least regularly. But most organizations really don't have easy access to data that they could use to help them make decisions. At best, some folks that I work with tell me stories of, well, every other week, I have to do a performance report on one of our programs. And so I take 4 days, twice a month, pull reports from 4 different data sources, and then smash them all together and send them around. And I don't think people look at them. Like it's so sad when I hear these stories. So I really think that, number one, if you can invest a little bit in training to get some member of your team who likes reports, likes data, maybe your database manager thinks about this stuff, train them. If you're an Office 365 user, get your Power BI on. Look at ways to very quickly and easily pull the right set of data together and distribute it. See what happens. If you don't have the skills in-house or capacity to take this on your own, I recommend highly a really great return on investment. Little bit of money gets you a bunch of reports. Hire a reporting person, a data shop. Maybe your software partner has a team who can do this kind of work. Sit down, spec out what you need those reports to include and how that data should be presented. That kind of thing can immediately transform your organization from a team that is super frustrated because they don't really have a clue. They have hopes that they think they know what's going on, but the data just isn't there. It can absolutely really help your organization feel like you're mitigating risk, you're paying attention to the right information. And, if you work with an external person or firm to spin up a starter set of reports, train somebody in your organization to learn how to make more, learn how to enhance the ones that somebody built for you. Jamie Bryan, so great to see you here today, Friday the 13th. Here we are, right? So invest in useful reports. Pretty please, pretty please, pretty please. It's the kind of thing that leaders will fund. You're like, it takes us 700 hours to report on this over a year. Can we just pay like $600 to have somebody make these reports for us? Like literally, it's not that big of a lift and it's not that big of a spend if you start simple and start small. That's the second thing I want you to do is that report stuff. And the third thing I want you to please do, and this is on my own list for 2023, is streamline 2 business processes. Maybe they're support or visible, right? Maybe there's a way that volunteers apply and get vetted and get communicated with. Certainly, many of us can afford to streamline our volunteer processes. I hear a lot of tales of volunteers who say, never mind, after they let you know that they're interested. It's just so clunky and not helpful, a process for them to communicate and sign up for shifts and things like that, that they're like, not worth my time. Thanks anyway. None of us can afford to lose a good volunteer or a good volunteer prospect. So it could be supporter facing. But when I wrote this up originally, I was thinking about the things that every time you do them inside your organization, you just die inside just a little tiny bit because it seems like it's stupid, or it seems like it's not worth the time, or it seems like there has to be an easier way to accomplish this task. These are the things that make people quit. They beat us down. If there's stupid ways of working, less streamlined ways of getting our work done, that's what makes people leave. They've had it. Now, the company that they go to or the org they go to is going to have their own set of weird business processes and things that don't make sense, but they don't know that. The grass is always greener, right? So things that are just silly, that like maybe it's just been like that for a really long time and nobody has asked, why do we do it like this in 5 years? So like raise those things up. These are costing you money. They're giving your staff morale a bit of a beat down, where people are just like, okay, here we go again. These can be selected in a couple of different ways. So let me tell you how I give people guidance to, like, all of our business processes need improvement, Maureen. Where do we start? You could start with super easy stuff. Like, let's just get 2 easy, quick things done over the next 3 months, 4 months. Give yourselves a little bit of time if you need to. Super simple stuff like maybe, your organization doesn't share calendars. So every time you try to book a meeting with each other, it's doodle poll hell, or it takes 700 years for you to actually find a time that works for everybody because you're individually asking 16 people. Simple, right? Simple stuff, cultural stuff sometimes, change management stuff for sure. So simple things, or like how you request time off in your HR system, things like that. Or maybe you're in charge of IT in your organization and you don't really know who has what equipment. And like, let's get an inventory together so that we can make sure that we're replacing machines, that we're provisioning machines, right? Like this kind of infrastructure stuff, that the stuff that you pretend you're going to do sometime, and fix it. 7 years goes by, still a problem, still unsolved. You could also pick a tool for internal project management or internal communication tool, Slack, Teams, whatever. So picking something easy like that. It's not always easy to get people to use the new process or tools, but you can do that. Could be something that is the worst. like if I have to do this in December, preparing for our budget season like this, I am not going to make it. Great. You've identified your biggest pain point. Fix it. Streamline it, even just a little bit. Grab the right people, talk about your current process, do some blue sky brainstorming on a Zoom whiteboard, or if you're back in the office in your conference room, map out skip a step or two. What's an easier, faster way to get the end result accomplished? Or you could look at the things that impact the most people. That would be things like project management or your HR system or expense management. I hear a lot of complaints about how people have to vet and submit their receipts and all of that. So it could be external. We need to streamline this business process because it's having a negative effect on our supporters or fundraising performance or volunteer numbers. We could also look at things that affect us that is not selfish, that is actually smart. A stable organization that sort of has its act together on some things some of the time is going to keep people longer. It's going to be an easier, happier place for you to work. It's going to be more attractive to major donor prospects or sponsors or funders, right? It's all about the whole. It's all about the whole. The keywords that I used when I came up with this list, and I'll run down the dumps and the do's one last time before we wrap, were automate. I don't want to have to do something if a machine can do it for me. So let's find places where when something happens, the next thing happens automatically. I can see it happen. I know it's happened, but I don't have to do it. I think that's really important. Jamie just commented 1% improvement adds up. Jamie, I love it. It's those little small bites, those baby steps that if you start and you can cross a couple things off your blessed list by next December, you're going to feel a whole lot better about how you used your time, I think. So automate, stewardship, stewarding our supporters, our subscribers, our members, and our team. Our team needs stewardship as well in order to be good stewards of your mission and the people who make it happen, those external folks who make it happen. And return on investment. Return on investment. Going back to my webcam from the beginning of this conversation, right? My new webcam. I spent money on this new webcam. My old webcam is glitching. I have 2 webcams. Why? I could probably give my old webcam to my child and use my new webcam and feel happy about it. So I got no return on this investment. It's sitting in the box. So if you've got tools or platforms or apps or whatever's out there in the mix for you that you have best of intentions of using, whether it's your Office or Google Suite or something else, if you're paying for something and you're not using it, or you're paying for 2 and you're only using 1, like an email tool, it is so smart, especially in belt tightening days that we may be in the middle of right now or just starting, depending on what happens with the economy over the next couple months. I know organizations are looking for places to save money. And the best way to save money is to use what you have to the fullest extent possible. It's about you just went to the grocery store and spent a couple $100 on 2 bags of groceries. Don't order pizza. Wait until you've used up all the stuff that you just paid money for, and then go get a pizza. It's a silly, stupid example, but I think you know what I mean. So this is where we're at. Dump it. People-powered, manual, routine tasks. Get those unresponsive email subscribers and hard bounces out of your list. Evaluate, try to improve, and then if they don't improve, find new business relationships with people, companies, software, tools. Do it. Inspire those supporters, refresh it a little bit. I think all of us coming out of the past 3 years are looking for something positive, bright, creative to catch our attention. Invest in those reports, please, 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 and streamline your business processes. I think if you pick one thing from the dump it list and one thing from the do it list, and do it privately and quietly if that's how you work, or introduce this idea at a staff meeting, people will be behind you because they don't want to be dealing with all of this stuff either. If it affects you, it probably affects other people around your organization. So I would love to know in the comments here, either live or later, if you are inspired by this and you have identified something that you're going to dump and something that you're going to do. I think all of us would love to learn from you and cheer you on as part of the nonprofit family that we all are here. So with that, I will let you go this Friday the 13th. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you next week. I think I checked. I can do a live next week at the same time, and I'm going to talk about how to make a project plan to get things done. It's really easy, it's really simple, and it can kind of be fun too if you're my kind of nerd. So with that, I'll let you all go. Have a lovely weekend. If you are celebrating Martin Luther King weekend, I wish you a lovely long weekend, and I will see you here next Friday to talk about project plans. Thanks everybody. Catch you then. Bye.